This is Brian Gibbons, and we're talking about contracts, and we use Box.net. Box.net is really a good way of just keeping contracts and being able to find them. All right. So what I do in my contracts is I just put them in boxes. But we're going to focus on the buyer-tenant side, and this is where you're both being a landlord and a rent-to-own person. Okay. Now, it's important to understand that you have an option agreement and then you have a residential lease purchase agreement. Now we do a lot of lease option assignments. So on the seller side, we're going to do a residential lease purchase agreement. It's usually a one-page agreement, and then we're going to assign that agreement for a fee. Okay, but for the buyer, we need a rental agreement and an option purchase agreement. So that makes sense. So step one with the seller, we have a residential lease purchase agreement, and then step two with the buyer, we're going to assign our interest in that agreement, and then we're going to create a brand new rental agreement and an option to purchase agreement. Okay. Now what is an earnest money deposit agreement? Earnest money deposit agreement basically works with people that you're getting earnest money for the tenant buyer. That's when you first get them to be interested in rent to own or lease to own. Option release disclosure document is very important as far as letting everybody know that you are going to be selling your option for a fee. Okay. And promissory note in case we have to lend money. Uh, we're basically having the tenant buyer, they're going to borrow some of the option money that's needed. If we need 5,000, they have 3,000 down, we're going to write a note. And then we also have some other landlord-tenant kind of documents like an eviction or rights of possession and a voided option letter if they're late on their rent. So that's a ballpark idea of some of the forms that we use. It's not all of them, but I hope you understand that when you're dealing with lease to own, it's really two kinds of businesses. The first business is strictly a landlord-tenant relationship, and the second type of business is a lease to own business where you are leasing with an option to buy from a seller and assigning that agreement to the tenant buyer. Okay. So thanks for listening. Okay. Bye for now.